week on Marketplace Middle East. The wages of peace. As Israeli and Palestinian leaders get ready for fresh talks, how could they change the climate for business in the Gaza Strip? Plus, the Ramadan economy, the Islamic holy month and its effect on work and trade. And entertainment with a heart, Egypt's TV show that rewards those who help others. Israeli and Palestinian leaders are due in Washington next week to resume direct peace talks. The last set of negotiations broke down nearly 2 years ago over Israel's assault on the Gaza Strip. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas are expected to meet face-to-face. A host of disagreements that need addressing include Jewish settlements, Palestinian refugees and the borders between their two states. There's a long way to go to achieve peace, but a breakthrough can't come soon enough for the Palestinian economy. According to the IMF, per capita growth in the West Bank and Gaza could slow almost to a halt next year if Israeli restrictions continue. It also says unemployment in the West Bank could rise from 16% to 20% by 2012. In the Gaza Strip, it's already soared to a shocking 40%. Frederick Pleitgen takes a look at how a peace deal can have a dramatic impact on local businesses.
These Gaza men are privileged. They have a job. In a place where the UN says 40% of the population is unemployed, they make soft drinks. Thanks to this man. Mohammed Tawfiq Yazigi runs the Gaza 7-Up and Pepsi factory and says doing business is still difficult.
There is two main problems here. The CO2, carbon dioxide, we still cannot receive it from Israel, and the electricity. Only we have about 6 hours electricity per 24 hours.
To be sure, Yazigi says things have improved since Israel loosened its blockade of the Hamas-controlled territory. These plastic tubes, for instance, are molded into bottles. They used to be smuggled here through tunnels. Now they come here legally. Still, Mohammed Tawfiq Yazigi says he could employ as many as 400 people, 4 times the number now working here, if only he was allowed to export his drinks to the West Bank.
Gaza completely closed. I cannot ship any shipment to the West Bank through the borders.
Israel's blockade of Gaza began 3 years ago. Since then, most businesses have had to suspend their operations. 80% of the people here depend on some form of food assistance, the UN says, even though the markets are well stocked.
Even during the high time of the blockade, the markets here in Gaza were always packed with goods. The problem is, with unemployment skyrocketing, most can't even afford the bare necessities.
People like Riyad Dasohi. He says he used to be rich, a merchant, trading between Gaza and Egypt. Now he's lost everything, is broke and unemployed. My children can't even continue their education, he says. The house we used to live in was a castle, and look where we're living now. Like Dasohi, many here say nothing will change in Gaza until Israel allows goods to be exported from here to help jumpstart the crippled economy.
Export is important for the Palestinian people. There is too much things can assist the Palestinian people. But Israel prevent everything to leave Gaza.
But the Israelis say that with the radical Islamic Hamas in power here, it could be a long time before cargo ships are allowed to leave the Gaza port.
Unfortunately, on the Palestinian side of the crossings, there's no longer Palestinian security. There is the Hamas terrorist organization. To coordinate exports of containers and so forth is a real problem when the person you're liaising with is a terrorist organization.
That limits the marketplace for businessmen like Mohammed Tawfiq Yazigi. But he plans to hang on in the hope that Israel will relax its restrictions even more. Fred Pleitgen for Marketplace Middle East, Gaza.
Well, up next, August this year marks the Islamic holy month of Ramadan, a time of fasting and prayer. But what about the impact on businesses in the Middle East?